Tempus here, hello and welcome to The Review. In this episode we will be taking a good long look at Zygor Guides, a paid for in-game leveling add-on. So, we're going to talk about the pros and cons, things I think should be changed, added or fixed. Then we're going to have a look at how it works, how it performs, and browse the utility of this add-on. And of course, the verdict. So, let's get started. Zygor is clean and sleek in its UI, and it also has a little button that can make it even smaller. Personally, I like having the full window up because it's not really that large, and it also provides some very useful tooltips telling you what to do, how to do things, or even the best way to do them. The tooltips are short, concise bits of information, and the way the descriptions work with the tooltips is just fantastic. It doesn't use big words that make you think back on when somebody used that word once upon a time. Instead, it describes them simply with words like giant crater thing, giant ogre guy, or small goblin in the back of the hut. It's just easy to understand what they're talking about, and that is good. The waypoints are in general accurate, but sometimes they can be way off, and that can slow you down a bit, which isn't nice. In some caves, it will give you waypoints step by step so you can navigate the maze, but it doesn't always do this, so some caves will still have you wandering around for a little while. It is designed to make questing as easy as it can through choosing areas and quests that are not at all challenging, and if it ever does pick one that is semi-challenging, it provides a tooltip saying you can skip this if you want. They update it a ton, they really do, but there are still some things that are out of date. For example, the starting areas will want you to learn a new skill to do a quest like healing wounded soldiers, but Zygor forgets about this and tells you to carry on. So you're going to have to watch out occasionally to make sure you aren't missing stuff. Northern took a 30% experience reduction, shrinking the time you need to spend in the harsh, frozen wastelands. Zygor hasn't updated to reflect this, but it works in such a way that it doesn't actually need to, in this particular case at least. For example, if I get ahead of the guide and I am high enough a level to move on to the next area, it will pop up a window saying, "You are ready to move on to the next zone." Even if I haven't finished up in the place I am already in. This makes it easy to use for people with BOA gear, rest experience, or even if you just do dungeons and battlegrounds while you quest. Now, what I do object to is that Blizzard has made many of the previously grouped quests soloable, and Zygor has not updated this yet. The guide also gives you some choice, so if you reach level 70, it has separate guides for either Borean Tundra or Howling Fjord. Now, while I praise the choice between them, I disagree with the level requirement of 70. Again, you can easily override this, but I don't feel you should have to. Again though, this guide is designed to make it really easy to quest, so there is no challenge, which is fair. As I have said in previous guides, death only slows you down, so they tries to reduce your chance of death to almost zero. As part of the guide quests, you will complete quests in, for example, Deepholm, while leveling to automatically unlock the vendor for the shoulder enchants, which is great, as I have seen countless players that don't even know there is a vendor, much less how to unlock it. Reputation enchants will no longer be in the game as of Mists of Pandaria expansion. Even so, I am certain that reputation with certain factions will definitely be important, so this feature will still be helpful. This add-on is mostly bug-free, but not completely. The most irritating bug for me is when you need to use items as part of a quest. Now, Zygor creates a little button in the box for you to use, but it will sometimes bug and become non-interactive. It does autocorrect generally when you leave combat, but it's a very annoying bug that has been in it for a little while now and still hasn't been fixed. On the same note of bugs, Zygor has its own website with the ability to report bugs so that they can fix them for you. Me being super ultra lazy, I have not made use of it, so I just rely on other people to do it for me. Here are some clips showing some of the features and functionality so you can get an idea of how it works. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Zygor. So now we can have a little look at how this thing works. Now, this little add-on can auto-accept and hand in quests. but it doesn't do that by default. So we're going to go into options and scroll all the way down to extra features, and we're going to take accept quests, turn in quests, and then fix it, because apparently there's some kind of bug with lower level quests that it has. So it has a built-in fix. Now if I just click on this, it'll automatically accept it, and it bugs just to prove me wrong. Here we go, over to this guy, and it should automatically turn it in. There we go. Now it's working. So apparently their fix for the low level quests isn't quite right, but it's almost there. So anyway, it's telling me here, you need to go down over here. It gives me a little tooltip telling me exactly where I need to go and what I need to do so I don't get confused. And for example, I loot this. Go away, silly guild thing. There we go. And as you can see there, it just goes tick. Cool, you've got that. Now get the next thing, which is where? Where did it put that? Oh, it's right next to it. Oh, I'm blind. I thought the waypoint was off, but it really wasn't. It was telling me it's right here, and I was blind as hell. I'll have to learn how to use ultrasonics like bats, so I can unlearn my blindly ways. Anyway, so for example, it's telling me to go over here, and then it'll tell me to hand in the next quest and accept the next one. Automatically doing it. Done. Done. Accepted. Now, with the auto-accepting, that does it automatically, but with auto-turning it in, however, it is unfortunately not completely automated, in that if there is a reward, then it will automate everything except the choice of the reward, which is actually good, because if you're using a questing add-on and all you're doing is questing, your main source of gear is going to come through the quests. So if, for example, it selected automatically based on vendor value, you'd be kind of screwed, because you wouldn't have the gear necessary and you'd start getting one shot because you're still in normal gear, and here you are fighting like level 60 elites or something, you know. So it really is actually something that I would love it if it had some sort of automatic feature, but at the same time, this is a guide that's supposed to also help both new and more advanced players. So for a new player, if they just selected things on vendor value, they would be so lost. So I think that's actually a very good feature, and not having that ability it's very good, especially for the new players. So I am not going to argue and get mad about that or anything. I don't know why I would in the first place. So that gives you an example of how that works. Now, as you've seen here in the little window box over here, it displays the person that I am supposed to go and speak to, or kill, or collect things, or anything like that. Now, it was working for some of the previous guys, but as you can see, it doesn't have everything quite yet. This is a newer feature that they've added, and it's not quite full. So you'll see I've just accepted a new quest, but it doesn't have a character model for this person, unfortunately. Oh well, I'm sure they'll fix it soon. As they, like I said earlier, they really do update this thing every 5 minutes. It's got a bloody update, and it's easy to update because of their little gadget they've got. You just click an update button, and then it goes, "Woo, I'm updating," and then it's done. So there's nothing too annoying to go through or anything like that.
Glory to the Sindorai. Keep your wits about you.
Okay, so I have just reached level 10, and this shows me the next part of Zygor's functionality, and I would have to say it's one of the best parts of it, especially for new players that aren't really sure what to do with these talent things. So if I open up the talent window, I can see this little button over here. If I click that, see it has a build. Now if I go into configure, in the interface, I have the option to select any of these things. Now, for example, I can select, let's pick a build, and it'll give me 3 different specs. Now, these specs are perfect for leveling, but for top tier raiding, if you really want to be raiding at the highest level, these aren't the perfect cookie cutter specs, but they are quite good. They are good, but they aren't perfect, and they are good enough to level with, and I think it's great, because you don't have to constantly tab out going, okay, well, what talent do I put in now every single time you level up? So let's just say, for example, I want to pick subtlety. I want to be a stealthy rogue. Now, here's what we go, just drag that out of the way so you can see. Okay, now it's telling me, okay, cool, it's blinking here, you go into subtlety, and it gives me a little thing saying, okay, learn that. Now, if I chose combat, let me drag this out of the way again, I just go back, combat. Now, unfortunately, what happened was, I just reset it, there we go. Into combat, and then it would just give me that, and then reset, and let's say I want assassination. Assassination, go into here, learn this, and you'll see it says learn 3 points, 3 points, 1.3, 2, 3, nothing, 3, 1, nothing, 3, 2, you know, it's very good. And here we go into the next part. We have the what shall we do when new talent points are available part. Now, I think it's great, because if you want to do it automatically, if you don't want to have anything to do with Zygor telling you what to do, you can click nothing and it won't do a single thing. It won't do anything. Then you can say open the talent frame for manual learning. Then let's say I get a new talent, it'll automatically pop this open whenever I get a new talent point, and it says, okay, cool, time for you to learn your next talent. Now, if I say open the advice window, it will automatically open this, and I'll just click accept, and it will be done. Boom, that's all I have to do. Click one button, and it learns the talents it reckons I should have. And if I click learn automatically, it will automatically assign talent points where it thinks I should have them. Now, do not expect that this add-on is going to be some magical cure to make you level 50 characters to max in 10 minutes. It may speed up your leveling and make it easier, but it isn't a magical cure, so don't expect it to be. All in all, this add-on is great. It's simple and easy to use, gives you some direction. I think it would be especially helpful to new players, players who are not very good at questing, are starting up new characters on the opposing faction, or they just want something to make life a little easier. This add-on is safe to use, I haven't been banned or hacked, so if either happens, odds are this add-on is not at fault. I give Zygor Guides a thumbs up. I have included a link in the description to their site so you can pick up a trial copy and see how it works for you. Feel free to click the subscribe button on the video to be notified of new videos. Comment, rate and subscribe. Good luck and have fun.